Welcome back. Today we are playing Victoria 3, and we are playing as Victoria herself. In Victoria 3. Last episode we did the starting steps for Great Britain, which I think the main business that you're worried about is the Opium War, and specifically taking Beijing. This way you get the Forbidden City, which is just an overtuned, overpowered building. Really important to have. It is allowing us to have a much more legitimate government because it gives plus 20 legitimacy. It will give plus 22.5 legitimacy once we swap over to colonial exploitation, and it also gives 50 authority. And so 55 with the exploitation. And so this is kind of where we were. Where we're going is we have to worry about, you know, a little bit of infamy, not too much, and we're trying to expand the market. We are bankrolling a couple of countries, not too much because we don't want to break the bank. We want to focus on expanding construction right now until we get to like at least 1k, and so it'll just be a bit more of a chill expansion. These are kind of what's important early on, is really ramping up the construction, and boy can we do it. Great Britain's a really powerful start. You start off with a lot of tax. It's really easy to have a comparative advantage, and we don't have any, we're just checking our bankrolls to see if we have any obligations. We don't have any obligations, but we will want to try and pull these people into our market. And an important thing that we are also doing last episode in regards to laws is we are focusing on getting multiculturalism and total separation. This way we get as many migrants as possible, because we start off with the chattiest market, and you know, you can get a lot of migrants from anyone in your market because that's how migration works. And we have the East India Company in our market, which notably has 123 million pops, and they're struggling, and so they're more than happy to leave the East India Company for, you know, the bright shores of Dover, as it were. And so as long as we keep our standard of living higher than them, we will siphon off pops, which is the goal. We also have a ton of extra pops from Beijing, which we took, like, just added like 50% to our population, and they will start coming over here. We will also expand arable or agrarian stuff over here and focus more on here, because that is unincorporated. It won't contribute as much clout to the landed gentry, and hopefully we can get the landed gentry into marginalized where they belong. And so this is kind of the trajectory of things and how we're thinking about things. We're going to take it on pause and watch our power increase. As Nietzsche says, joy is the feeling of watching your power increase. Something like this. And our construction centers, we're going to add another 33% to, roughly speaking, and hopefully be losing some money after we do that. Our economy has gone up quite a bit since the start of the game. You know, can we hover over and see? No, we can't. Oh well, we're in really good shape right now. I do think we probably want to look for a war. I was thinking of going after Bahrain. Bahrain notably is where we get a lot of oil appears, so I think this is a worthy cause. It only gives a little bit of infamy. You know, in terms of resources to infamy, it's a very good war to declare. We just hope no one sides on the side of Bahrain, like I think Russia can and France can. Hopefully they don't. I think France is, yeah, they're rivaling. Oh, we're going to end the rivalry with France. Hertader. And we're going to declare a rivalry with someone else. This is because we are trying to get the unique achievement, in which case we have to be friends, and so we will rival someone else. I think we'll have to rival Spain. I think Spain is rivaling us. I guess we'll have to rival Russia too. Something like this. And then we have a little bit of excess Diplo, which we can spend. We can also bankroll some more people here and try and pull them into our market. I think going after Zulu would be reasonable, but also Oranhe and Transvaal. Let's just start bankrolling Zulu. Actually, no. Let's pause and take a think. Or not actually pause the game, but we are going to think a little bit. I'm pretty sure they're on minus 75 fearful, except France joins. So we will have to mobilize everyone. This is a little bit unfortunate. I'm not sure we win this war. I think France is stronger than us at the start. But I think that they won't be able to land us. We don't have any fronts with them at the start. And we almost certainly will be able to land Bahrain. I think we will be able to enforce Bahrain and wipe peace out France, so we will continue on with this war. Let's see if there's anyone we could sway as a consequence. We could sway the Ottomans by offering an obligation. I don't think we want to do that. I think we just take this war. They have no fronts with us. So, despite their having a larger military, I don't think they can really accomplish too much here. But we will raid their convoys quite a lot. And we will let these guys defend the coast, I suppose. Maybe stop a cheeky landing somewhere. Maybe not. Industrial grade materials. This is interesting. Industrialists find the high price of steel in the capital an impediment to their ambitions and would like to prioritize importing it. Alright, well I guess let's set up a steel import. This adds a journal entry. I don't think I've seen this journal entry before. Do we just have to import steel from someone? I'm guessing that's what the case is. So we just have to import steel and we get approval? That's kind of weird. I think I've never let steel get this expensive in the market before then, I guess? No, that can't be the case. This might be unique to Great Britain. We're just going to import from Prussia and satisfy that. Cryptic letter. We'll let the universities help, I think. Because we're more than happy to give academics more political strength. In fact, we actually want the Intelligentsia to get over 20% clout, so we get the tasty doubling of this migration attraction bonus. So that would be quite good for us. Is this is the recording lagging? Okay, I think it's fine. Okay. And we set up steel import. Yay! Okay, we're just gonna land Bahrain. I suppose maybe we want to even... No. I don't think we need to add... I mean, we could liberate Occitania in the off chance we, like, something happens that's good for us. Or something. I guess we put down war reps. Or maybe we shouldn't have. No, we shouldn't have, because now we need to take the capital to enforce on them. Although they should accept a white peace. We'll also add Occitania. Since we've already added the war reps. I think we're not supposed to add the war reps. I think there's no chance we enforce all that, though. We'll take the enactment time. This has been going pretty slow, and it's still pretty contested. We're getting a malice from authority somewhere. We can take off consumption tax, not too big a deal. We're not getting a tremendous amount from our consumption taxes. They are confident. They do have the stronger mobilization. I mean, I guess we could try and convince the Ottomans just to have another partner, but I don't think it's worth it. I think we just occupy Bahrain and then peace out and call it a day. Let's actually decrease our institution of police because we want to delete a lot of the bureaucratic administrations here, government admins here. And we want to have we want to be floating a lot of excess bureaucracy in order to facilitate that. The reason we didn't delete them yet is because we have a revolution brewing and we cannot delete them. Is there really no front? Oh, this is like the front. We have a front there. We have a front over here, I guess. This is how they're going to occupy us. Come on now. Definitely should not have put the war reps in as a thing, because otherwise they would be allowed to declare below 0 once we enforce on Bahrain. I don't think it'll come back to hurt us, but it could. A little bit unfortunate. Or a little bit of oversight on my part. We have a way stronger navy as well, so... Just wait for the war to pop out, invade Bahrain, take Bahrain, peace out. Ooh, Opium Addict. Hell yeah, brother. So, we will get a cheeky invasion off. I don't think there's anything France can do to stop it. Which should be a very winnable war. Another advantage of going after Bahrain. Very hard for anyone to protect it. Same with over here in... Kutai, which we did go after that as well. Got some stuff in the queue for that. We are losing a good amount of money, but we have increased construction a good amount as well. Persia backs down against Russia. That's a new Persia flag, right? So they are now a subject of Russia. That is a fine development for us. We are trying to play nice with France. We are not rivals with them anymore. Because we are going after... So there's 2 achievements you can get as Great Britain specifically. And that is anarchy in the UK for growing anarchy. And also we are not amused by expelling French diplomats. When they are good relations with you. I believe they have to be good relations after the expelling as well. But this is kind of just the thing. We do have colonies expanding quite nicely. I have to remember to keep in mind that. We are, of course, going for Quinine. Once we get Quinine, we will go for the soft underbelly here in South Cameroon, which has only got regular malaria, if I'm not mistaken. Which means we will colonize it at normal speed, which will be fantastic for us, and give us kind of a foothold here in up in this bizzle. Interesting that Portugal starts off with so many of these colonies here. Yeah, our navy's bigger than yours, my friend. My friend, I mean enemy. Bahrain will, yeah, so Bahrain's just gonna get clapped here. And, of course, France cannot get here in time to help them out. And so we will just quietly enforce on them. And there shan't be anything to be done. We, of course, do not... Ooh, we should be able to repel this because they are running... Although I got nervous there, I must admit. They're getting minus 25% from difficult landing. We have a bunch of troops just standing around there. I suppose we could mobilize the conscripts, but I don't think it'll be necessary. I think they just get a bunch of failed landings here, so. And even if they don't, we can cut off their supplies pretty well with our much, much better navy. I think they're kind of a water upon rock type of thing. Although I guess if they land back here, maybe we're in trouble, or if they land Ireland. I'm not sure exactly. Ireland's not incorporated. Some Irish would be happy with that. We probably will incorporate them. Yeah, well... Yeah, well, that'll be a future thing. I think for now, we want to decrease the government admins here as kind of what we're doing in regards to thinking about how we're spending our administration. Did they try again? Or no, this is the same one. Yep. Why don't we go after Northern Ireland? That seems on theme. No one will be upset about that. Let's incorporate, and then let's decrease the police further. Now, there is a front apparently somewhere. West Indies. Yeah, we're fine with that. We're not going to fight over that. We wanted to keep the army at home so they can't land at home. Mainly the way we're looking at it. So we lose enactment chance no matter what. I think that... We have a revolution brewing. So I think we come off this. And I think we go for the rather neutral looking colonial resettlement law. Or colonial exploitation, which will give us 5 more authority and 2 more legitimacy. Because it will enhance this. The Forbidden City itself, which is the most absurd thing ever, that colonial exploitation allows you to extract more usefulness from that than the Chinese get themselves. It's that should be patched or changed. Our revolution should go down now that we've gotten off that what we were doing. Our people are kind of mad at us. Our standard of living has dipped and has not returned. It has not bounced back up. This is not our problem. It is our people's problem. But you know, maybe in the nearest future we look to actually decrease taxes enough to get us to hyper-legitimate government. That would be kind of expensive, but we also don't mind deficit spending for a little bit. You know, the petite bourgeoisie, loan interest rate, if we can get access to that, you know, we will be in good shape. So that would be a reason for kind of going that way. But the resettlement will be good. And no one opposes that law, so everyone will get calmer heads will be allowed to prevail here. Nice having this little rumble that's not really a rumble with France, though. And so some great power on great power action, except we're just avoiding them. We're avoiding a land conflict with them. And nah, they can't stop us. Why don't we also just patrol the coast of these with the other guy? That way they can't land up there. So, how are we doing on rails? We will need a couple. Let's just add 2 in the home country because we will need quite a bit. And how much are we paying on subsidies? None right now. We do want to expand the rural industries to start using some of these rails. I think we'll start with these probably. They does lose a little bit of money, but we'll do it. So we want to get branching out at some point. Yeah, we're just gonna beat them up. Let's take a look at our infamy and think about what we want to do after this war. You know, this is a very productive war here that we're currently engaged in. We would want to maybe try and go after Ottomans, except, well, so going after Iraq is nice because there's a ton of oil in there. But we kind of want to get them in a customs union a little bit. Because they do have a lot of pops, man. Persia got rolled. We conquered the Truco coast. Huzzah. Let's see if you'll just take a white piece, my friend. My friend, I mean sworn nemesis in every game ever. Also, by every game ever, I also mean history. They're not a fan of that. They have a ton of gold reserves, they have war support, and they have short duration war. Okay, well, we can afford to fight this for forever. We do have ports here. There are anchorages, that's fine. I guess we'll do some of this, let this auto-expand. And let this well, can't auto-expand. Pretty good situation. Let's check our market and see what we can maybe cook up here. Now, we are building the ammo ourselves. We are also building steel ourselves. I think we're working on food industries right now. The coal we can do ourselves, and I think that's probably a good idea. We will do it in kind of all the home provinces, and we will look to get some of the peasants off the streets and into the mines. They want to join our customs union. That's fancy. So we will stop bankrolling them. And so now we're going to be siphoning off pops from them. So we will stop this. Because I don't think we're going to protectorate them very easily. Oh, I guess we would. Kind of. Which would give us access to, you know, these colonized lands, which are quite valuable because they will have a decent amount of like rubber and stuff like this. And I think that they start off with a lot of dyes. But this is good for us. Dyes are really cheap. I think we are mostly on the best PMs. We can be. Nitroglycerin would be decent to go. I suppose we might do that after Quinine. Because we are going to start using a lot of mines ourselves. Water tube boilers. Also decent one. We already have a lot of progress to it. So maybe we go water tube boiler after that. Just waiting for France to realize that this war is unwinnable for them. That they cannot possibly land us. And so this is going nowhere. It's going, where are you going? Nowhere. Might decrease the taxes here. Oh wait, why is this... We were in the other bracket. Was it because this broke up, the band broke up? Well, we would like to have the petite bourgeoisie out anyways. And now we are hyper-legitimate, so this is perfect. The Unholy Alliance, you just start off with it with Great Britain. Ridiculous. We could even increase taxes now and still be this legitimate, which would allow us to construct a whole lot more. And you know what I really like doing? Constructing. So we will add a bunch of construction centers in all of England. And I'll make all the Scots mad by also adding them in Scotland and saying it's all of England. All of England. No, we added them in England and Scotland. I think we could afford those. We could certainly... We might dip our standard of living, but this is okay. We're going to make a whole bunch of new jobs. We'll also add some more in other England. Now it's time to make the Irish mad. I am, by the way, American, so I do not know how mad those jokes make people. If they make people real mad, let me know. We are also importing a whole ton of iron, so we should be able to, like, equilibrium just, like, it should just increase the imports, so that's pretty good for us. So we could take... I don't mind taking the high-risk one. I think that's what this is. This is the higher-risk one because if we get the low roll, we can swap to something else. We did get the low roll. Let's swap to something else. Because I think there's plenty of laws. I guess I suppose I should have looked specifically for a law that I wanted to change, but we'd be more than happy to go to... well, we can't go to that. More than happy to go private schools. This only makes the Anglican Church mad. It makes them radicalized. But this will also help empower, you know, the Intelligentsia. We're trying to get them above 20 clout. That way this bonus doubles, and this bonus also doubles. And so this will be kind of good. Should be pretty easy to get them above that clout level. And now we're also just going to watch the Loyalists shoot up, the Radicals shoot down. I suppose another law we could have gone for is, yeah, I guess we could have gone guaranteed libs instead. All these construction centers are finishing, so our construction should boop, boop, boop up a little bit. And we will take a look at what's expensive in the market. It is croissants. Of course, the French. We will expend them more in the lowlands, because the lowlands are already specializing in them. Quite a bit more, actually. And then we will add a couple of those in the lowlands as well. Unity and tradition. West Indies, we don't have that many pops out there. I think we don't want the Tory party really gaining any traction. Sorry. So let's not do that. We actually would perhaps want to even suppress them and try and get both of these groups marginalized. I don't think we want to do an Anglican run because we want to siphon off, we want to suck off the pops. When we go multiculturalism, freedom of conscience, no migration controls, we get an enormous amount of population growth through the migration, especially because we have the East India Company to siphon pops off from. And so even though we have like only 13.8 standard living, we're still able to siphon off pops. Crazy good. Because they have a standard living of like 11. We will go this route and make them mad. The Ripper gets clapped in irons. We got the bastard. We get some extra authority. Ugh, we've got a lot of authority now. So we will come in and I think we will actually suppress the Anglican Church and try and get them out a little bit faster here. We could also go after a bonus of one of these other guys, but I think we'll just try and say bye-bye to these guys faster. We could also put in some consumption taxes, you know, in order to try and facilitate some more construction, but I think this is fine. God, our queue is huge. I thought we were clearing it out. Now, will you take white piece now? Nope, you won't. Okay, fair enough. You know, we can just sit here all day. My not-so-friendly friend. Let's take a look here, because I think that we don't have... yeah, we don't have a revolution brewing, so now we can get rid of some of the government administration, so we will... well, I guess we need the bureaucracy anyways. So let's go society, and let's go Quinine. And, okay, we got some more from something or another. And so we will start decreasing these a little bit more. And we get Winds of Change. I think I will take the Loyalists from Standard Living. Changes. We are also decreasing our policing institutions, so we can delete more of these, so we don't have to pay for paper and stuff. And we get private schools. Very nice. So this should ensure that we stay... this should get us up above the clout line, kind of in the long term. We could go this. The petite bourgeoisie and other guys will not radicalize, and this gives a little bit of cooldown time to the church, but the church is on the way out anyways, right? And they're already radicalized, so I think we like just whatever. The guaranteed libs is better than the swap of that, so we'll just go guaranteed libs. We're running a negative 100k balance, which is okay, but this is not okay, because the tax waste is actually a really bad modifier, so I guess we got a little bit jumpy. But we can take a look now at if there's anywhere that has... No, there's not. Okay, so what we will do, we're looking for any place that had not enough taxation, so we'll just increase this a little bit. We'll add a few to Wales. We would rather have the admins in incorporated territory and not in Beijing. Although, I guess we got a little ahead of ourselves deleting them. We could, of course, stop the Suez survey, but this is almost done. Maybe we should have waited for that to finish before deleting any of the admins. That's probably the case. Why don't we go and see if we can up the PM in any of them, though? This would be nice. It looks like we can. We could go standardized filing system. And so this diminishes our problem here. And then once these finish, then we can delete more of these in Beijing, which will be nice. We just keep clapping their navy. Maybe they'll give up soon. Doesn't look like it. Their gold reserves are now not doing so good. Apparently. Allegedly. Oh no, wait. Their gold reserves are huge. Just kidding. Yeah, we do want the white piece. Why is our line not straight up yet? I demand to know why. Probably because we don't have enough construction. We do have a larger throughput max bonus, so why don't we use that? Let's switch back to this view and go, you know, plus 10 on all these, so we are getting the max bonus, except on this one we want more than plus 10. And then we'll also go railways. Another reason to expand really big in the capital is you will eventually run an event that doubles your railroad output in the capital, which is like an insane modifier, and so just overbuilding there specifically is really strong. We get fractional distillation. I think that gives us this. Doesn't make money. Makes more goods though. We will just swap over because we'll know we'll want it eventually. We'll swap over on this too. And on this. That was a nat spread thing, so I think we're doing okay on the money. No, our investment pool is draining. Minus 50k is not too bad though. It's not the worst, it's not the best. It was the best at times, it was the worst at times. This is a little bit of a... Let's check in on our bankrolls and see if we got any obligations. We don't have any with Mongolia, we don't have any with Kalat, and Portugal is in the customs union, but we were thinking of trying to protectorate them, and so that's why we're running the bankroll. Although we're a little far off right now. And how expensive is this bankroll? I think it is a little expensive. 3.4k. I guess we can keep on it, just as, like, from the perspective of it makes it so we won't forget. We do want to pull Mexico into our market though, so we will start bankrolling them. So Mexico would be a big deal. We get guaranteed libs, which of course spikes a whole new problem here. But we will start decreasing the law enforcement all the way because we would rather have guaranteed libs maxed out. And we got free government reform. I don't think we'll want to change anything. Currently, we also got the bonus from the Intelligentsia, so 50% migration attraction. Very nice. Big nice when you can get both of these guys. We're currently suppressing the Anglican Church. I think if we get both of these guys below 4%, it might get rid of the Tory party entirely, which would be fantastic for us. Fantastic for England. So we could go laissez-faire. Laissez-faire would be preferable. We could go private. This... I think I like that. Kind of putting the nail in the coffin of the boyos. Now this is convoy raiding is shipping or sinking our ships. I guess we can escort convoys to like various places with some of these 5 stacks. Maybe that'll help with the interceptions. A little bit interesting. Cuba is larger than we would like. These are going to finish soon, so we get the munitions event. It's so nice to be able to go for all of the events. A lot of the times, like, it doesn't feel like you can go for all of these events, but when you start with one of these, like, European countries, it is not the case. You just feel like you can do everything. You're just like Superman. We're about to Superman that hoe. Like, why don't we just take a look at some of these decisions? So in order to do this, we have to have colonial affairs greater or equal to 5. To confederate Canada, we have to have nationalism. Federate Austria, we need nationalism. Interesting. Transvaal has been really, as a state, has been doing good on the gold mines. So maybe we even want to go into Transvaal earlier than we otherwise would. So we could go after Sulu. We finish the Suez survey right as we finish the government admin. So what we will do is we will try and wind down some of these. Because generally speaking, you'd prefer to have these in incorporated territory, so we'll wind them down to 5. Which of course fires these guys, it makes them mad, but we'll just make them some new jobs, and we will set them all to auto-expand in the rural stuff. And that'll appease them, hopefully. And now we're paying a lot less, or we're paying quite a bit less for government stuff. We can also increase an institution, I think. No, we can't quite afford it. We will be able to, once this comes down, we will increase our home affairs, which we can increase quite a bit, so maybe we wanted more government administration, but we want it here, localized. So we could decide whether we want to play nice or play mean. To be nice or to be naughty. I think we just make a suitable offer and we play nice. And maybe look to diplogate Egypt. Like, Egypt's huge. It's really hard to, like, incorporate all of Egypt all at once. But we can maybe be adjacent to them and pull them into our market. So I think this gives us an event in this bizzle. Acquire land of the Sinai. And what do we need? So we have to get good relations with them. So let's just, we could bankroll them even. No, that's kind of expensive. We'll just improve relations. France, have you had enough? Getting Han migration to Lancashire. Very nice. Alright, you haven't had enough yet. I suppose we could even try and land them ourselves. That seems like really gratuitous and unnecessary. Well, we could like land Algeria or whatever, and yeah, let's do that. Just to make them, we get an obligation from Kalat. We can absolve it. I don't think we can get them in a customs union as is, but when we absolve, then they become amicable. And so now, as soon as it's minus 50 or greater, so minus 45 would also work, you can give an obligation. More than happy for the Industrialists to eat up the Armed Forces cloud, I think. Although, I think I would just want the extra 5% though, so we'll go that way. Now, the private health insurance is not very... And the private health insurance and the private education is not particularly good until we get our standard of living up, so maybe we were a little preemie on that going private schools front. Now that I think about it, because it's really... It takes a really high standard of living for it to work out well for you, but we are working on that. Oh, it's just so beautiful. The Big Ben throughput bonus, plus 1.01%. The 0.1%, I think, is the Big Ben applying modifier to itself. Is that it? I think it's 1% throughput from itself. Beautiful. More than happy to have a trade agreement with Austria. Let's just take a look at what we can... Yeah, they have expensive steel too. Let's look at what they're trading with us. It's not too much, really. But hopefully they will start importing some of our finished goods. Or we can just export our finished goods. So let's just go... export, like, clothes to them. And export... we are running low on convoys. But we are going to take... bite out of them in Algeria here. We of course cannot take the mainland. We won't be able to land the mainland, but we can land here. We'll just get clapped if we try and land the mainland. We'll also get clapped if they can get their armies here in time to Algeria, which they might be able to. But if they slough us off, it's not a big deal. But we are just trying to get this war ended. I suppose we are losing troops that way, but it's fine. Not a big deal. Play a little whack-a-mole. Ooh, do need to play the whack-a-mole with Beijing. Which is a little curious. Are you running some other type of penalty? No, you just got a lot of stuff. Okay, fair enough. We would probably want to overexpand. Well, we want to get rid of all these barracks, but we want to overexpand a little bit the railways. So why don't we do some of that? I guess, well, we'll just do that, and then... Nice. Private health insurance. We can just set all those to auto-expand. And we patronize romanticism. Isn't it romantic? But you can make it a bit more realistic. Normally you don't get this tech bonus, because I just nat spread it first, but we're getting tech bonuses. What did we just finish? What research? Research? Oh my god, my brain is blanking. I'm pretty sure we just finished attack. Well, it wasn't a PM for production. Although, very tempting to go mutual funds soon. And we're pushing into 10 troops. Maybe they will take... they still won't take white peace yet. If they get a whole bunch of people on this front, we just get clapped. But I think this is fine. We're starting to deficit spend now. This is also fine. Oh, we passed a law. That's what happened. Let's go exploitation now. So we can get that tasty, tasty extra 5 authority to legitimacy. We are the most legitimate government in the West. And you know why? Because the ancient Chinese Forbidden City, it's actually not ancient, I believe it was built by the Mongols. Sind is offering us obligation to have a defensive pact. I don't think that's worth. I think they're already in our customs union, yeah, not worth. Not worth the, not that we don't mind defending them, but it's not worth the Diplo. Credit where credit's due. We will credit the trade unions because we will want to get them into power soon. Just gonna want to get these two guys, the Tory party, marginalized. Kind of our mid-term plan. Well, they're not moving other guys to this front, it looks like, so I guess free real estate. They're not landing us either. They are going to get... So this is where we should not have put any war goals on them, because we can't dip them below 0. And so we have to wait longer. If we put no war goals on them, they would dip below 0, so they'd be more willing to take the white piece, and so this is kind of unfortunate. And by unfortunate, I mean we're dum-dums, and we should have done it differently, but it is what it is. So this means that even though we occupy this territory, we might even just stand down with this guy and go to, yeah, go to standby, because once it gets to 0, it's not getting any lower. I guess if he lets us take this all the way, we're going to take it. We're leaving the other guys here so that he can't land. If he somehow managed to skip past our navy. And we are having trouble with, ports, so I guess we'll just put these up at max, and we're dealing in arms, but let's get more research. Fantastic to get all of these research bonuses. Normally it is not quite, it's not feasible when you're playing like a country like Armenia. I can never proc this event because I can never get the turmoil in the home state high enough, or the capital of whatever country I'm playing as. But now they can't dip below 0, really annoying. Flubbed this a little bit. So we're just going to be kind of in a little bit of a long war with them for not too much of a reason. Although getting Bahrain is nice, and also just decaying this infamy all the way to 0 is also nice because it gives us room to work with, so just staying in this war is not particularly painful for us. We have noticed the loyalists are climbing and the radicals are slowly going down, and this is because we have super legitimate government, which again is because the Beijing's capture start. Grabbing this forbidden city. It was forbidden, but we took it anyway. Q is starting to clear out a little bit, so let's look inside of our market what we need. Yikes. We need boom booms. Alright, where are we making boom booms? We get colonial exploitation too, nice. In the Midlands, so I guess we'll expand them here. And we'll expand quite a bit in the Midlands, because we, I think, are going to be going, after this, we are going to be going for more boom booms. And so we'll add another railway in the Midlands as well, just kind of a little bit of preemptive action. And now we can go something else. I think we want to go total SEP. And kind of put the nail in the coffin of the Anglican Church, and then, you know, suppress both them and the landed gentry into marginalized territory. And we also want to get the trade unionists up out of this, because we do want something from the trade unionists. We want to pass proportional taxation. That is what we really want from them. Unfortunately, Elizabeth is, you know, the ruler here, and she's kind of, she will kind of be cock-blocking that. Prince Edward, you don't say. Smashing, chap. So there's a chance we want to get off of monarchy. In order to kind of facilitate us eventually starting to pass some stuff with the trade union, because it's almost impossible to have the trade unionists and industrialists in the government at the same time. And so, yeah. We get the max colonial affairs. We will, of course, increase that institution, and now it's very tempting to research some of these tier 2s and go into mutual funds, but I think what we'll do is we'll finish up water tube boiler and then go nitroglycerin instead. And then we want to look at our institutions. We want to expand colonial affairs, and we want to up home affairs to a much higher level so that we can get more loyalists and decrease the radicals by more. Ottomans want a trade agreement. We'll say yes to that. We do want to eventually pull them into our market. Now, how close are you to getting in here? You are real close. Why don't we just offer you an obligation here and get you in right quick. And they will be able to pull us into some war or a defensive pact. Don't really mind having a defensive pact, but this is going to be nice. And they will, in fact, call in the obligation for a defensive pact. This is fine. We can eventually break this defensive pact. Not a big deal. Also, don't mind defending the Ottomans here. So, everybody wins, really. But very importantly for us, the British market expands even more. And it also picks up all this territory, which was part of the Ottoman market, in terms of accessing people to the market. So we are going to want to start cranking up our standard of living a little bit here. To that end, we might even want to decrease taxes, despite the fact that we don't really need the legitimacy from decreased taxes. We just want to decrease taxes to start siphoning off more pops, because it's always good to suck off some pops from your enemies. Yeah, big mistake on my part, adding the war goals. I wish this system worked a little bit differently. So if we had no war goals on them, they could decay below 0%, and it would be much easier and much faster to get this war to end. And so it's just a bit of an unfortunate situation. And unfortunate is really the wrong word, because I brought it upon myself. So it has nothing to do with fortune, or very little to do with fortune. So Alternatively, we can just crank up construction more, you know, which I like to get turned up, so we will expand it in all of England and Wales, sorry. When I was making the England and Wales joke, I said all of England. We get total separation, very nice. And a politician died. Who died? Robert Owen. We, of course, will have to get rid of a consumption tax here. Let's take a look. What do we have now? We have a nihilist. They are quite happy with recent developments. So what we might do is these guys should get suppressed on their own. We're actually going to bolster the trade unionists now and try and get them up, especially because they're happy with us at this current juncture. Although we might pull a naughty that they don't like by going free trade. We could also go laissez-faire. Laissez-faire is probably the more important law. They -10 oppose it, kind of a little bit of an annoying thing. We can also go. I think we like wealth voting for now. It's actually really doing something now. Later on, once you get really high standard of living, wealth voting doesn't really do anything in regards to making sure that your rich pops are the ones that, once everyone passes the threshold, it becomes similar to universal suffrage without the bonuses. I mean, we could also switch around things. So I think I want poor laws. I think I want women's suffrage. I want to get rid of child labor, but I don't think I can restrict it until I get human rights. So there's a reason to go human rights, but for the most part, I think I have most of my stuff. I guess elected bureaucrats would be okay. But I think it's fine for now. Are we running? We have states of turmoil. Where's turmoil? Okay, Beijing, fair enough. We have inactive trade routes, we have idle mobilized generals, which we want. We have low market access, we have isolated state regions. This is kind of one we care about more. Why don't we just... We could use the convoys. So we'll just do that. And then 2 battalions of reserve, not a big deal. Unproductive trade routes, also not a big deal. Support more declared interest, not too big a deal. And we have insufficient tax capacity in Ulster, a big deal. So we will add a couple government administrations in Ulster to deal with that. And maybe some industry in Ulster. I think that yeah, this is the Northern Ireland. Yeah, what could go wrong integrating Northern Ireland into greater part of the UK proper? I can see no problem with this. And what we can do is we can actually get both of these to level 51, so we don't mind auto-expanding here, just as long as we don't go over, you know, too many ranches where we can't get 51 rye farms. But I guess we actually don't want to increase it in incorporated territory at this juncture because it will empower the landowners, and we want to get them marginalized. Can we end this war, please? Nope. We cannot. How are we doing over here on all this colonizing business? So that's doing alright. This is doing alright, doing alright. We, of course, can come in here. Let's do it before we forget. So this area only has a regular, and I call it regular malaria. And so they don't have severe malaria, so we will expand here. You'll need to click escape a couple times. We will expand here just fine because it just has regular malaria, whereas here has severe malaria, which we would be slow expanding into. But since we have the quinine, we'll expand here just fine. Let's add a port in the queue to take care of this. So it will be connected to everything. And then I guess we can add a logging camp or something. I don't know, seems fine. Now we can stop improving relations with Egypt, I think. No, we're trying to get to 20. So we don't want to do that. We're just checking our bankrolls. We will absolve our obligation with Mexico to make us cordial. Just one step closer to getting them in the customs union. They are already in the customs union, but we're looking to protectorate them, which we can't do yet. But don't want to forget about this idea, so that's kind of why we're keeping them on the bankroll. We do not have a... oh, they're already... No, we want them in the customs union, and we need an obligation. That's kind of the situation with Kalat. And the Mongolians are friendly. Will they join? They will join. We'll use the obligation, and they will be in our customs union. Huzzah! So now they will use our consumer goods for the most part, and then they will build the inputs, because that's going to be what's expensive in our market. So they will probably kind of look to build a lot of iron and coal, which they have a lot of. So fantastic for us. I don't know why they haven't moved more guys to this front. It's kind of insane to me. Oh, they're not even mobilizing anyone? I see. Could we maybe take the capital then? There's no way, right? I don't think we'd be fast enough. I think we'd just eat a bunch of dick trying to do it. That's interesting though, they've just paid nothing. They've just only been using their navy. And right now we're pushing into I guess I should have looked at this earlier. No, they're mobilized. Okay. Perfect. They're just not doing anything. Whoa. Our literacy rate is going down. I think we can do something about this. Bessemer process, we'll have to turn that on. Doesn't make money, but will eventually, and we do want the steel to get cheaper. Draw cranes unlocked. Cool beans, dude. Can you just let us out, please? This war is going nowhere. Let me out. I'm a hostage. I think we do want to declare a war that gives us a lot of infamy next, so I'm not sure exactly what we want to do. We could go after Great Qing again. Right? Do we still... No, we still have a truce. We have a truce until 43. So for a couple of more years. But their provinces are just so valuable in a general sense. And have so much pops. We could also... Don't see that, where they don't join up with each other that quick. Could also maybe do something like Puppet and Puppet New Granada. That way we get immediate access here to Panama. We will not do the defensive pact. We do not want to use our stuff that way. Come on. You can do it. I mean, we already have a little bit of a queue. I mean, we could expand the queue more, which is a fine thing to do. Do consumer goods, tools, boom booms in there. Iron's expensive. Iron also is a huge part of our expense, so if we get the price of iron down, we're importing iron from a bunch of people, but we can also just, you know, do some of this action. Oh, and condensing pump's gonna make a huge difference too. Forgot we were doing that. Such a good tech. So let's go nitrous glycerin, because this will help out all of our mines as well. We have quite a bit of mines. You know, overall for what we got going on, we have 120 mines, so we could swap them all over to condensing pump. And this is gonna be so good because we're gonna be making so much money once we make this swap, because we'll have so much more iron in the market. Let's see, how much of this are we paying for subs? A little bit. And so let's start turning on some more of these rails. We get branching out as a consequence of doing that, and let's prepare for the future for steel railway cars. And Brave Engineer, the brave man, we will take the intergroup approval and attraction for them. Now let's take a look at how things have shaken out a little bit. Landed gentry is not yet marginalized. These guys have come to roost, so now we are getting their manufacturing industries bonus, which is a huge one, real big. And they're almost +1 more happy, which we are trending in that direction. But what I think I will do is, now that they're somewhat powerful, we're going to stop bolstering them. And we're going to go back to suppressing them instead. Getting a huge throughput bonus, so now we're suddenly making money. I think we're fine just sitting on this. Well, no, we're not fine. We actually just, we have a need. We have a fever. And the only remedy is more construction. We will put the construction in Great Britain, or sorry, in England, Wales, Scotland, and then we don't offend anyone, and Ulster, I guess. part of England. That joke's never gonna get old to me, and it should be old because I'm not, I'm not British or anything. British. Okay. So I'm fine auto-expanding these here. Let's auto-expand just all the rural stuff that does not empower the landowners. I'm fine auto-expanding in the home countries. So why don't we set that up? This will make life easier for us down the road. And we'll also, just generally speaking, it's nice to not have to worry about having to watch this super close all the time, because you know the auto queue will like kick in at least a little bit for you. Yeah, this is cranking up. And that's even without like getting the institution high on home affairs yet. We're still cranking that up. So that's going to get really big real fast. Our population being bigger from just this Beijing is also going to make us colonize faster, which is also super nice. You know, just everything's coming up good. We are going to be running into a bureaucratic shortfall soon, so let's take a quick look if we have any places that need more. No, we don't, so we will just put some down in the capital. Couple in Ulster, or one in Ulster, couple up there. Looks good. Will you take peace now? You're very close. You're realizing that nothing's happening in this war. Are you happy with us yet? You're not. We can take a quick look at all these guys. Although we checked not too long ago on our bankrolls who was friendly and who was not. Kind of want to go into Transvaal earlier than we normally would, so we might. I want to see how much infamy going after Zulu is. I think that it's based on population. They don't have the smallest population in the world, so maybe we're better off getting them diplomatically than we are just going in and guns blazing. We do want to end this war though, because yeah, we really want to end this war, because I think we're at 0 infamy, and if you're not using your infamy decay, you're losing it. So this will allow us to, you know, try and expand our power quite a bit. Come on, please, 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 please. Let's stop this senseless violence. I wonder if it refresh. It probably doesn't even refresh in real time. You probably have to click it again. We're deficit spending slightly, which is kind of where we want to be right now. Could increase taxes and still be righteous. 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 How are her modifiers? They're not even that great. I would have expected better modifiers. Oh, Victorian propriety. I see. She just gets +50. Well, I guess maybe we shouldn't switch off monarchy then. Interesting. I think we go laissez-faire. It does make the trade unionists sad, and we're really enjoying their bonus right now, but with the loan interest rate is going to be nice since we're now deficit spending down into there. And certainly now you accept white peace, right? Thanks, dog. Okay. This episode, I'm going to call it an episode here. In this episode, we had a super long nothing burger war with France because we went to war with for Bahrain. We annexed it very quickly, and then we were just stuck in a war with them. We should have not had any war goals on them. That way they could decay below 0, so that way we would have been able to like occupy all their islands and decay them down below 0, and then they would have given up. But we were dum-dums and we put on a war goal. Things have been expanding. You notice our population is still cranking up because of migration, because we are siphoning off pops from, you know, the East India Company, which has even worse standard of living. So we will be able to keep our standard of living and the wages pretty depressed for at least a while we just expand the industries a whole bunch. The home countries notably has really high standard of living, but that's kind of it. And so, yeah, this is kind of what we've been doing. We're just expanding, cranking on along, you know, passing the laws we want. We start off with insane laws with Great Britain anyways, so, you know, this is okay. But yeah, the first war with a great power, and it's a nothing burger war with France. The nothing war. Anyways, if you enjoyed, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, do the YouTube algorithm stuff, maybe share, and have a good day.